Hey everybody, this is a quick video to give you an overview of how to approach your Westchester Private School case study assignment. We'll go over briefly the template so you have an idea of how to really do well on the assignment and what instructions you want to focus on. So first things first, the template is all done for you. You really don't have to do any of the formatting. It's all set for you. You'll just want to update everything in red. As you scroll down here, one thing to do is make sure that when you turn in your final assignment that everything is in black and that you delete all of these comments from the template. So it should be all of just your writing. So the first thing you'll want to do is your introduction. You'll start with that. It should be at least 4 sentences, and make sure that you include a thesis statement, which should be 1 sentence that introduces all of the key points of your paper. Make sure to follow APA. That means avoiding all first and second person, so no I, no you, no contractions, and make sure to use citations throughout your paper. So for the highest grade, each section should have numerous academic citations. You also want to make sure to hit between 1,600 and 1,800 words. Here's an example of a thesis statement. Try not to use this exact one, but this gives you a good idea of how to approach a thesis statement for this particular assignment. So your first actual content section is the external environment and open systems. So this section is going to discuss the external environment of Westchester Private School. You'll want to define open systems with citations from your academic research. This can come from your text, and I note where you can find that information in your textbook. Make sure to address all aspects of the organization's external environment with cited information. So within your reading, when you're focusing on open systems, you can really focus on other areas of external environments and define and cite those terms. Like I said, the more cited material that you have in each section, the higher your grade will be. So make sure to really focus on that and define and cite, and then apply each of those terms. The next section is internal environment and organizational culture. So the same kind of concept applies here, where you'll want to cite and define organizational culture. And then within that, you'll want to think about the internal environment and what other terms that encompasses. So think about climate, culture, context, and make sure that those terms are defined, cited, and then applied to Westchester Private School. Next section should focus on the closure process in relation to Education Management Services and Dr. Murphy. So you'll want to think about that decision, how it was to close the campuses in the process of the closure, and make sure to define and discuss the behavioral decision-making process with citations. Next section is Technology and Innovation Challenge. So here you'll want to think about how you can bring cited material into this section. And one way to do that is our text focuses on innovation. So think about how you can apply those terms, define, cited, and applied to Westchester Private School. Also make sure to define and cite stakeholders and think about how those apply to the question. This section focuses on management theories and how Westchester Private School could have handled the closure in a different manner if they had actually used those theories. You'll want to focus on one theory from each of the category of approaches. So a classical approach, a behavioral approach, and a modern management approach. So define each of those theories from each one of the approaches with citations from your academic research, from your text, or from the GCU library or Google Scholar. Any of those are just fine. And explain how each of those theories could have been used to handle the closure in a better way. Next section, plans for the future. Define long and short-term goals with citation from your academic research. So think about how planning, everything that we covered at the beginning of week 2 will apply here. Identify and justify one long-term and one short-term goal for the future of Westchester Private School with examples and additional insight. Like every one of these sections, you want to have numerous cited sources in each of them. And finally, your concluding statement. So this concluding statement is a little different than what you may be used to, because we are introducing a little bit of new material here where you don't typically do that in a conclusion. So here you'll want to define the 4 functions of management with citations from your academic research, of course, from the text or anywhere else that you get that is an academic source. So this paragraph is going to wrap up the entire paper and then also integrate those 4 functions of management and show how they could revamp management at Westchester Private School and help them meet the goals that you've laid out in the previous section. So here's a few tips right here. Make sure to keep in mind that the case study is not an academic source, but you should be citing it throughout the paper. So what that means is one section, if you only have the case study cited, you wouldn't earn full points for that because that's not technically an academic source. An academic source is going to be your textbook or anything from Google Scholar or the GCU library. Make sure that you are under less than 20% Lopes Right score and that you have no more than 2 direct quotes in your entire paper. Instructors really want to know how you interpret the material, not that you are just using direct quotes that define sources. So make sure to delete my comments, and you should be all set there. And here down at the end, you have a couple references that are already done for you. So assuming, of course, that you'll be using the case study as a source, so that's done for you. And then the textbook reference is also included for you. So hopefully that will help you earn an awesome grade on your first week 2 assignment. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Thanks.